Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Kika Tips. I'd like to thank my wonderful son, Angelo, for working hard. Halloween is coming up. What we're doing is I'd like to invite everybody to Great Minds Ask Great Questions. So to have you to study the art of music and how to succeed in the music business. What I'm suggesting is for you to go to YouTube and watch the different segments of What's My Line. It starts from the 1950s, and it has all of its famous actors and actresses. It's the only intellectual show of intelligence that has evolved throughout the years. It's been on for 16 years. But what you discover there by watching that video, the different episodes, is what questions to ask and how to read people. That's very important, because in life and in music and in everything, what matters is what questions do we ask and to get the right answers. So asking the right question is part of success. Great minds ask great questions, the right questions. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the how, where, what, when, and how. How, where, what, when, and why. How do we do it? Why do we do it? How do I do it? When do I do it? Why am I doing this? And getting the understanding as far as music is concerned. Now, what I did here is, if you look today's lesson is on the C major scale, which is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay, so what it is that's a single string. So here goes C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Backwards. C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. Okay, now we look at it from this is your scale steps. This is your chord scale. C major, D minor, E minor, F, G, 7, A minor, B minor, C. Okay, so initially here, this is your baby step. So B minor, flat 5, and then back to C. But for today's workshop, the B minor will suffice. Just play for a regular B minor over here. Just play a regular B minor over here. For the 4-part harmony, now this is single string, this is 3-part harmony. These are triads. This here is 4-part harmony. C major 7, D minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7, G 7, A minor 7, B minor 7 flat 5, and C major 7. Okay, so why am I showing you this? I'm showing you this because you have the option, since we're in the key of C, whatever you learn here is applicable to every key center. This is the key center of C. Okay, the C is the 1. C equals C6 equals C major 7 equals C major 9 equals C major 11 equals C major 13. What does that mean? So when somebody's playing a C chord, you can play C6, C major 7, C major 9, C major 11, C major 13. But what you want to do, instead of just playing the C chord with other people, you're getting into a different genre. You're being provocative. Now, if you want to keep it simple, just C against C. Just play the C against C. And that's it. We call that sweet bread. Keep it simple. Hawaiian music is simple. Country music is simple. When we get into Hawaiian contemporary, then we're getting into the more provocative chords. When you get into jazz, it gets more involved. But this is the basic baby step. Okay, now when you have a D minor, you notice the minors are in the 2nd degree, the 3rd degree, and the 6th degree. The D minor chords, the D minor, E minor, and A minor, basically you can go D minor 6, D minor 7, D minor 9, D minor 11, D minor 13. Whatever that means, or whatever the chord design is, you can do E minor, you can go E minor 6, E minor 7, E minor 9, E minor 11, E minor 13. This one here, so you got A minor, you can go A minor 6, A minor 7, A minor 9, A minor 11, A minor 13. whatever that means. You want to, just like your word vocabulary, you want to increase your word vocabulary. Why do we want to increase our chord vocabulary? Same reason why we want to increase our chord vocabulary, to grow intellectually. Okay, then we have the G7 chord, which is the 5th degree. The G7 chord equals a G9, equals a G11, equals a G13, equals a G7 flat 5, equals a G7 flat sharp 5, equals a G7 flat 9, equals a G7 sharp 9, equals a G7 sharp 5 flat 9, equals a G7 flat 5 flat 5 sharp 9, equals a G7 flat 5 flat 9. Okay, these are extensions. This is all G chord. You can get a chord book, and you find some of these chords in there. Otherwise, what I'm using to get these chords is applied music theory, harmony and theory that I've learned when I went to the Guitar Institute of Technology in Hollywood in the 1976. Okay, so like I said, there's a theory that goes behind this, but we're not going to cover the theory today. With this, you can just get a guitar book, a guitar chord book, and then utilize this right away. The G7 is also the G augmented, and the G7 is also a G diminished. Falls under this category. What does that mean? What that means is, when you play a G7 chord, you can play a G augmented. Okay, so G augmented 7. Okay, when you play a G7 chord, you can play a G diminished 7. Okay, so the next thing I'd like to share with you is my eraser right over here. The C chord and the A minor is relative. In other words, you can superimpose, and the word is superimpose. You can superimpose C major 7 against an A minor 7. You can superimpose the D minor 7 against the F major 7. You can superimpose the C major 7 against the E minor 7 and the A minor 7. So let's get that straight. C major 7 equal against the E minor 7 and the A minor 7. Play back the tape and write that down. And the next permutation, or the next thing you can do, is the D minor 7, the 2nd degree. You can superimpose it against the 4 chord, F major 7. Okay, the next one, of course, we have is the G7, the dominant 7. The G7 is, so you can superimpose that against the B minor. Okay, so this is called chord chemistry. It's chord on chord. Also, let me show you an example of this. Okay, let me erase this. So you got that down. Okay, so let me write in 4-bar phases. Also, they're written in 4-bar phases. Give you an example. 2 beams make us start with the wings going out. 4 over 4 means the top 4 means there are 4 counts per bar. The bottom count means there are 4. The quarter note gets one beat. Also, that there are 4 bars in a phase. This is your top 4-bar phase. This is bar 1. 2, 3, and 4 is understood. Okay, so what key are we in? Key of C. In the key of C, what's the 1 chord? The 1 chord is C, right? What's the 2 chord? D minor. What's the 3 chord? E minor. What's the 4 chord? F major 7. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to give you this formula. Okay, right now what we have is this: 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got C, 2, 3, 4. D minor, E minor, F. Okay, now if we were to repeat that, and you put a double line, 2 beams here, put a repeat side, and keep doing this over and over again. Okay, this is your top 4-bar section that we're doing here. So what I'm saying is, for the C major 7, we can go C major 7, you can go C major 7, E minor 7, A minor 7. This is all relative. C1. So for the C major 7, you can go C major 7, E minor 7, A minor 7. So there's one beat each. Against this. Okay, the D minor 7, you can superimpose that against the F major. So instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, go D minor, F major 7. Okay, the E minor 7, you can superimpose that against the C major 7 or the G major 7. There's the E minor 7 right here. G major 7. E minor 7, C major 7. Okay, let's go to the F chord. There's a 4 chord. We got the D minor into the F. Let's go to the A minor chord. Keep in mind we want the C major, the D minor, the E minor present, the F major present, the G7 present, the A minor present, and the B minor flat 5 or the B minor 7 flat 5, or the baby step would just be the B minor. Okay, the word that I'm using here, you can superimpose chord on chord, C-H-O-R-D. Now, for those of you who are sincere in wanting to learn this, I want you to just take my word for it for now. I'm not going to get into the theory part because I've done it in other episodes and other tutorials. Right now, I'm just giving you the straight information here. So C minor for the first bar, you can just play C major 7. You can just play E minor 7 for 4 counts instead of the C major 7, or you can just play the A minor 7 for 4 counts. Okay, let me give you an example of this. Watch this. The original chord changes calls for a C major, okay, which is also a C6 or C major 7, C major 9, right? So I'm going to go 4-part harmony and make it a C major 7. Okay, so here's the 4 counts. First 4 bars: C major 7, 2, 3, 4, D minor, F, E minor, G major 7, A minor 7. Then repeat. Okay, so what I'm saying is you can superimpose, instead of C major 7, you can go to the E minor 7 here for 4 counts. This A minor, you can go to the C. Watch. 2, 3, 4. The D minor, F, E minor, G, A minor. Okay? Remember now, the original chord change basically here is C, then you go D minor, E minor, and F. That's the original chord change. Okay, so against the D minor, I said you can go D minor and F. Against the E minor, you can go to the G major 7 or A minor, and against the F, you can go to D minor over here. But we want the C, right? So against the C, you can go A minor. You can go E minor. C is A minor, E minor, or E minor, A minor, or C. Watch. First bar, C major 7, D minor 7, E minor 7, A minor. Ready? Now instead of going to C major 7, I'm going to go A minor 7, F major 7 against the D minor, G major 7 against the E minor, C major 7 against the A minor. Like in other tutorials, I broke it down by chord spelling. Okay, like I said, I'm not going to do it over here. I just want you to utilize this right away. Take my word for it. Whatever you learned here, you apply to every other key. This is the paradigm. This is the 1 of the T center. This is the 2 minor. This is the 3 minor. This is the 4 major. This is the 5-7. This is the 6 minor. This is the minor 7 flat 5. Okay, so what we're using here is symbols. Okay, so let me erase this here. So we can use this information against any key center. It could be a key of F, G, and anything that we have available. This is relative. What we have here is a mathematical formula that we use. We're using symbols here. So what you're really looking at here is this is the 2, this is the 3. 1, 2, 3. This is the 4, 5, 7. This is the 6. This one here, basically we can use this as the 7th, or you can use it with the 7 flat 5, or the you can go 7 minus 7 flat 5, which is equivalent to this. That means minus 7 flat 5. These are symbols. These are the chord scales. And Roman numeral by itself, when it's capital, is understood to be major. So capital, that means this is a C major. Capital here, that's a F major. C, D, E, F. When it's a minor, you have a minuscule. Roman numeral. Minuscule number 2, minuscule number 3. That means it's minor. Minuscule number 6, that means it's minor. So that's C major 7, D minor, E minor, F major. This is G7 or G dominant 7. This is an A minor. Back to the you can hold a regular B minor here. The reason why I'm giving you the 7 like that is for the beginners. This is for your true beginners. You can just get away with a B minor. C major, D minor, E minor, F, G7, A minor, B minor, and back to C. Okay, we can call that folk. Okay, when you're getting into when you're getting more involved into this becomes a B minor with a flat 5, and that also progresses into B minor 7 flat 5. We call that a half diminish. The 1 chord becomes a 1 major 1 6, a 1 6, a 1 major 7, a 1 major 9th, a 1 major 11, a 1 major 13, whatever that means. The 2, 3, and 6 chords become, this is a 2 minor, this is a 2 minor 6, it's a 2 minor 7, this is a 2 minor 2 minor 9, this is a 2 minor 11, and this is a 2 minor 13. We're using tertian harmony. We're going up like this: 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. We're following this. This is called tertian harmony. The question is, who thought of this? A mathematician thought of this. His name is Pythagoras, from the island of Samos, and he's from Ionia. Okay, so he was a philosopher as well as a mathematician. But basically, it's interesting how this evolved years and years ago. Now, we have the 1 chord, we have the 2, 3, and the 6 chord, which basically represents itself. We're following the same thing. So the 2, the 3, and the 6 chord relative to this. Okay, the 4 chord is the same as the 1 chord. We have the 4 major, the 4 major 6, the 4 major 7, the 4 major 9th. So we're going to put an M there for major. Major, major. We have the 4 major 11. We have the 4 major 13. The reason why we got to put the minor so it doesn't get confused with like the 5 7, 5 9. The major is being more meaningfully specific. The 5 chord we have here is 5 7. We have the 5 9. We have the 5 11. You can superimpose the 5 13, whatever that means. We can also superimpose the 5 augmented or the 5 diminished. So these are all chords that you can superimpose one on the other, one for the other. Okay, yes, if you have any questions, contact me. Where's my eraser? It was over here. Oh, here it is. Okay. The next thing I wanted to share with you is this. Watch this. There's a C major 7, C7, D minor 7, G7, and C7. C. 4 bars. Of course, we're still in the key of C, right? 4 over 4. Okay, so when you have this situation, here's the original progression. Watch what I do. This is an understanding. 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4, D minor, G7, back to C, 3, 4. Okay, what we can do here is we can go from the C to the C sharp diminished, the D minor. So we're going to go to the D minor. Okay. D minor 6 to the G7 to the G9 and then to the C major 7. Here we go. Okay, here it is. Go C major 7. Okay, ready, go. 1, C sharp diminished, D minor, G9, G13. So I can go to the G13 over here, and then back to the C major 7. But what I'm doing here is I'm keeping track of my meter. That means I have 4 counts per bar. Because this is where your timing comes in. Yeah, being a musician, a good musician, you have to have time. See, so for the 4 counts of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2 to the 6, then the G9, G7. So over here goes E minor, 4. Okay, so over here, I'm showing you the approach chord. See this one chord, this one E minor, you go here, 2, E flat, minor, 3 is D minor, and 4 chord is a G7. So over here, we're substituting this against that because there's 4 counts, right? Okay, watch. Ready? From the bar 1, C major 7, C diminished, D minor 7, D minor, major 7, G9, G7, E minor, E flat minor, D minor, G7 back to C, and then we repeat again. So this one here replaces this right here. At this point, you're going to repeat back to the top again. This is just an example of superimposing chord on chord using chord chemistry. And what I'm using here is called an approach chords. Basically, what is an approach chord? What am I getting at? Why am I showing you this? Because what key are we in over here? We're in the key of C, right? So what matters is C is home. So when you go away from C to the D minor, what you want to do is you want to resolve and go back home. If you go to the E minor, you want to resolve, you're going home, you're going away, but you always want to go back home. The F, you always want to go back home. The G7, you always want to go back home. The A minor, you always want to go back home. The B minor 7, you always want to go back home. What does that mean? That means to resolve. Resolve back to C. Because we're in the key of C. You want to resolve back to C. Okay, so let me give you an example of this. Watch this. Just using what are the 3 main chords? It's the 1, the 4, and the 5 chord. Remember? The 1 chord is the tonic, the 4 chord is the subdominant, and the 5 chord is the dominant. Dominant 7, right? So for the 1 chord, we can go 5 to the 1. 5, 7 to 1. We can go 1, 2, 5, 7. These are called cadences. This cadence. Cadence means to resolve. So in the key of C, this is the 1, this is the 5, 7, this is the 1, this is the 5, 7. Okay, so when we have a 5, 7 to 1 like this, G7, C. That's called a perfect cadence. Why is it called perfect? Because you're ending on C. You're in the key of C. Now, I mean, that's perfect. You started on C. I mean, you get one away when you started on C. Now, the C to the G7. Now, from the 1 to the 5, this is called imperfect cadence. Why is it imperfect? Why is it imperfect? Because we're in the key of C, but you're stopping on a G7. You're starting on C, okay, everything pono, and then when you go to the G7, man, I mean, it's not in the key of C, it's the improper cadence, it's imperfect. Of course, from here, it's going to go elsewhere. Okay, the next one is the 4 chord, from the C to the F. It's called a plagal cadence. So here's the plagal cadence. C, 2, 3, 4 to the F. Okay, C to the F is the plagal cadence. What about the F to the C? That's a perfect plagal cadence, right? Because you're ending up on what? C. What key are we in? C. So even though we start on F somewhere in the song and you're going back to C, that's a perfect plagal cadence. You went back home. Congratulations. You didn't lose your way. Okay, and the final one is the G, which is the G7, the dominant 7, from the G7 to the 1, what is that called? Perfect or imperfect cadence? The 1 to the 5, 7, what is that called? Is it the perfect cadence or imperfect cadence? G7 to the 1 is a perfect cadence. Okay, the C to the G7 is imperfect. But that's it. Ho'olohi, hoko, holumoa.